2 witnesses must be there. The guardian of the lady must be present. Both parties, wife, husband, are allowed to condition upon each other. They're both allowed to condition upon each other. Conditions under the Islamic regulations. And once the conditions have been forwarded, the hadith says the stipulations most entitled to be abided by are those with which you have been given permission to enjoy the woman's private parts with. In other words, if she has conditioned something on you, you are not allowed to break that covenant. You cannot break that contract. You are under obligation. Had you a problem, you should speak to her before that is written. Many people, after the condition, the lady for example, conditions something in the contract, and after that he rejects it. When? After marriage. That is breaking the contract. It's destroying the contract. As we are witnessing today, regarding the marriage contract, a lot of traditional things happen. For example, we all know Al-Fatiha. What did I say? They say Al-Fatiha. Raise your hands, they say. And once the Fatiha is done, they are under, mashaAllah ta'ala, khalas. They're lawful for each other. Take her out, go and shim al-hawa. Take her out. Have some nice fresh air. And then he gets her the ring. Then he gets her what is known as the engagement ring. The engagement ring. All the guardian conditions that the marriage is not accepted unless it is registered under civil law. Under what? Civil law. Under kufr law. Subhanallah al-Azim. When do we have to write our marriage contract, our Islamic marriage contract? When do we get married to a lady and the only way she is lawful to us or for us is when she's written under civil law? Wallahi, I witnessed this not long ago. One brother, who's the guardian of this girl I was marrying off, her guardian said, I condition that she has to be written, or this contract must be under civil law. Otherwise the contract is invalid, he said. Allah looked at him, subhanallah, he's hit me bad. You know, Lebanese, you can't muck around with him. So I was in a state of shock. I didn't know what to say to him. And the whole people, the whole gang there, I did not know. I knew the poor man who was the bridegroom. That's all I knew. I looked at him, I said, what'd you get me in? However, we continued the thing, the contract. Alhamdulillah, he got married, but I did not write that in there. Absolutely not. Because I don't consider that as a valid condition. So alhamdulillah, that was completed. This is the main way, or the only way you can get married. Very simple, wallahi, brothers and sisters. Islamic marriage is very easy, very easy. Both must agree, the dowry, 2 witnesses, the guardian, the sheikh is there, khalas. Simple. It's a 4 or 5 minute job, the whole thing. The whole thing is only a 4 or 5 minute job. Recommendations, advice before marriage. It is very strongly recommended that the lady, the bride and the bridegroom get advice before consummating the marriage. In other words, before they live together. For example, beware, you tell the man, beware, you tell the lady of suspicion, of envy, of evil thoughts. For wallahi, they are the key to divorce. Do not blame each other. Live in modesty and obedience with each other. Let her and let him only smell or see that which the other admires. Do not spread each other's secrets. Be romantic. Tell the man, be romantic to the lady. The Prophet ﷺ was romantic. Was he not, Yazunate? He was romantic. Even a rose. Well, on the way home, if you go on the corner of Woodville and Hume Highway, there's always someone there selling roses. When you go in there, make sure you catch the red light. Buy a rose, $2, $1, $15. They're going up today, $20. And take her home to your darling wife. And tell her, this is for you, oh darling. Believe me, wallahi, that would change her whole day. That would change the whole day. And you have the best meal that night. The best meal. Something you've never tasted. And I'm pretty sure a lot of us romantic men have tried this. If you cannot afford a rose, get a candle. What for? Put it underneath. Switch all the lights off. Switch all the lights off and have dinner together under a candlelight. Or you want to be more romantic? Go to the moon. Underneath the light of the moon. This is not a joke, it's serious. The Prophet ﷺ was romantic. He was romantic. I know a little word, wallahi, the least of words will have the biggest effect on her heart. Even the least of words from her will have the biggest effect on your heart. You know, for example, you come home and she makes a meal for you. You might not even like that meal. But say, MashaAllah, how beautiful, how tasty, how scrumptious this meal is. And inside, you don't know how we're going to get rid of it. But, wallahi, it should change your day. But don't buy the same fruit or whatever veggies so she won't make it again. You know, little things play a big role, a big effect in your life. A big effect, wallahi. So make sure you tell them, the bridegroom and the groom, the bride and the bride, that you got to be romantic. Another important thing, that she keeps her name when she gets married, rather than taking her husband's name. And how many people today, wives, have their husband's name? Many. It's the Western sort of concept. For example, a girl is called Amutullah bintu Abdullah al-Ghaffari, and his name is Abdullah ibn Abd al-Rahman al-Tabalani. When she gets married, her name remains Amutullah bintu Abdullah al-Ghaffari, and does not become al-Tabalani. And many people today, for example, you ask their wives, what's your name? She tells you, Aisha bintu Ahmad al-Tablani, meaning she has taken the name of her husband. This is not acceptable in Islam. It is not acceptable. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned us against this. And listen to this hadith. Whoever attributes himself to other than his father, while you knowing, has disbelieved. Has disbelieved. The only time Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam changed names when they were not proper. For example, as Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu mentions, that his daughter's name was Asiyah, sinner. Her name was Sinner. Then Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam changed it to Jamila. Jamila, which is beautiful. So we are not allowed to take or to change our wife's name. You as a husband, inshallah ta'ala, to be, if you're already married and this problem has occurred, change the problem. You can change it. Just like a person has already fallen into riba, he can change it. And Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. You have the ability to change it, so change it. Now, before the consummation of the marriage, the contract's completed. They have both been recommended, advised, counseled to do what they have to do. They want to get married now. The first night of consummation. When